Yesterday, we disembarked the Coral Princess after a fantastic full transit of the Panama Canal, so I'm going to let you know what disembarkation looked like as well as embarkation for the guests who are taking the next cruise, especially in light of that norovirus that had been on board. I've got other updates for you from some other Princess ships, including the Crown Princess sailing from Australia. Princess is running a special promo for their guests who live in Canada, so I want to make all of you aware of that. And finally, this is important. Yesterday, I met someone in the Miami airport who was traveling home from a Galapagos island cruise, shared their experience with us, things I think you really need to know when you are booking your bucket list cruises. So let's go ahead and get started. Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips. Today is Monday. It is March 10th of 2025. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, will you please go ahead and click that subscribe button. If you don't want to miss any videos, you want to stay up to date with everything, and you don't want to miss when we go live, click that bell next to it and you'll receive notifications every time. Also, if you appreciate my updates, would you please give this video a thumbs up? Being a subscriber and giving us thumbs up matter more than you would ever guess, so thanks so much. Now this evening, we usually do a live on Monday night, but this evening we are not going to do it. So we will see you Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Bring your questions and be ready to talk about cruising and traveling to cruise. So first up, let's talk about the special promo that Princess is running for their guests who live in Canada. Now, this applies to any cruise that you book between March 5th and April 1st, just right this month. It's in effect now, and it ends April 1st. So on select voyages, Princess is offering a 15% instant savings for their guests who live in Canada, as well as up to a $500 onboard credit, up to 50% off the cruise, free room upgrade. Remember, Princess doesn't do like a balcony to a mini suite. They do it within categories of a certain, like a balcony. Maybe you'll book, mid-aft balcony and pay the forward price, something like this. But just wanted you to know a little bit what to expect there. Some of the cruises will have free third and fourth guests, as well as allow $99 deposits. So remember, this applies to cruises that you either book directly with Princess on your own or that you book through your travel agent. I'm a travel agent, and I appreciate more than you will ever know when someone is kind enough to book their cruise through me. So you can do it this way, and if you're interested, just send me an email, letsgotraveltips@gmail.com, and I'm delighted to work with you. But I think this is wonderful. Princess is doing this for Canadian residents. I've seen them do it in the past, and I'm really glad they brought it back again. So, like I said, remember, just select voyages though. Alrighty, let's talk about disembarking from the Coral Princess. We had the most amazing cruise. I'm going to do some follow-up videos. We're going to have one showing a little bit more of our group things, as well as things that we did when we're on the cruise. I'm going to do another video this week letting you know what we really enjoyed about the Coral Princess and what we didn't enjoy quite so much about the Coral Princess, some things I would tweak or like to see tweaked if I were going to be sailing on her again. And I'll let you know if I would sail on the Coral Princess again during that video as well. Also, another important thing to know is I have done the videos the last few days letting you know about the norovirus situation on board the ship. And with our whole group that was on board, we only had one person who came down with the norovirus. And thankfully, by the time we were ready to disembark, she was feeling fine and able to do that again, able to be on her way and travel home. So I'm really grateful for that. But as they prepare to have the next guests come on board, they did a deep cleaning. If you didn't know this, when they do these deep cleanings, they mean deep cleanings. Norovirus is a virus that has to be washed away. A lot of surfaces can't take bleach to kill germs, so a lot of the disinfectants that people are used to using to kill germs, viruses, bacteria, whatever, do not work on the norovirus. You actually have to wash it away. So it is all hands on deck. It does not matter what your job is on board the ship. Everybody pitches in to clean everything. There was a 3-hour embarkation delay yesterday for all the guests coming on board, and I'm really grateful that several of you who were on the next voyage let me know how that worked for you. Usually when you're on a back-to-back, you just have to disembark and then get back on again. So yesterday they had to be gone for 3 hours while that deep cleaning took place. So apparently several of you went ahead and booked an excursion so that you just didn't have to sit there and wait at the port. I think that's a really nice way to spend your time. And then when you got back to the ship at 2 p.m., pretty much everybody was boarded. They said there were just a few people pulling up at that point to embark on the ship, but all the people waiting had been able to get on board the ship by 2. So that's really good to know. Another important thing to know is because the guests had to get off the ship who were going to do that back to back, they were all given a $30 onboard credit by Princess. I think that's great because this is truly a situation that no one can manage. The other thing I wanted to make sure everybody know is that those protocols are still in place. Up in the buffet, as of last night, the crew members were still serving the guests rather than having guests serve themselves. So I think that's good. Hopefully you'll all have a wonderful cruise on this next voyage. The next voyage is a complete transit, a full transit of the Panama Canal, this time going Fort Lauderdale to Los Angeles. So that's the update there. Let me know if you happen to be on board this next sailing. Let us know how things are going. One thing really stands out about to me about all of this, and that I really think about an awful lot, is illness on board cruise ships. You know, it is really, to me, the only place in the world where they really track that. Of course, you have guests who get together, and then, like, we were on board with everybody for that whole 16 days. You know, you would get off in the ports, but you ate dinner with people every evening. And so as people travel and they pick up any illness on the way to the ship, then some people don't practice good hygiene as far as washing your hands, not licking your fingers in the buffet. Of course, illness is going to crop up. But I did notice as we waited for quite some time in the Miami airport yesterday that there were a lot of people who were sick, and that included people, coughing, looking like they didn't feel good, and that included everybody, people that had been on ships, people who had not, and were just traveling. So it's really everywhere. So you all know I like to cruise, but I think it's really important to have a good perspective when you're considering things and deciding if you should be worried or not. Next up, I appreciate some updates that some of you have sent me. So I have a Let's Go family member. They were so kind to send me an email. So they said that they had spent 50 days on board the Enchanted Princess and had just started 34 days on the Sky Princess. And up there in the buffet, of course, people are serving themselves. They keep seeing people who will put the food on their plate there while they're in the actual buffet area there, and pick up something, have a bite of it, and then lick their fingers, and then pick up the serving utensil to give themselves something more of something else. When you see that happen, I would immediately grab a crew member and tell them what happened, and they will change that out. People shouldn't do that. That to me is something you should have learned like before kindergarten, but make sure that when you see that happen, you report it immediately so they get new utensils, because as long as things happen like that, we're not going to be getting rid of norovirus. Same with washing hands. You have to wash your hands. You just have to wash your hands. Next up, we've got some guests who are on the Diamond Princess. I appreciate the update they sent as well. On the Diamond Princess right now, they are sailing from Australia to Japan. The crew is serving everything in the buffet. I think that's wonderful. They don't have anything that the guests self-serve there in the buffet. So I like to see that they're being careful. Let's talk about the Crown Princess for a minute. If you've been following along, they had that Category 2 cyclone off the coast of Australia that actually made it in Brisbane that ships had to stay out at sea for 3 extra days. There was nothing that they could do because of the weather. Well, the Crown Princess is able to set sail as scheduled from Sydney, but there are changes to their itinerary, and at the time that the guest was writing me the email, they said they did not know what that itinerary is going to look like. I'm kind of wondering if as this ship sets sail, they'll see how the weather shapes up and where they can navigate, where they can actually go. So I'm excited to hear where all of you on the Crown Princess get to go. So send us some updates. Let us know what it is you're getting to see. Okay, finally, what happened in the Galapagos? So yesterday when we were waiting at the Miami airport, we met some really nice people, and they struck up the conversation saying, well, where did you go? Why, traveling home? And so we let them know what we were doing. And I said, how about you? What did you do? And he said, we were shipwrecked. And I kind of looked at him and he said, really, we were. So what they had done is they booked their bucket list Galapagos Island cruise to through a company called Royal Galapagos. So they got down there. It's an Ecuador cruise line. It's not a cruise line that is what do I want to say? It's not a major cruise line. It is very much a small cruise line. They use these small catamaran boats to take you around the Galapagos. So everything started up just great. Everything was going fine until they literally ran them into the rocks and shipwrecked the ship. They had to be rescued by the Ecuador Coast Guard, and he said it was actually a very scary situation. They lost most of their belongings, of course, so because now they're in the ocean. And so I said to him, I said, well, what is Royal Galapagos doing for you? And he said, so far nothing. We actually just had to change our flights and fly home. And so what do I want you to think about with this? Because I always think, I don't think these people did the wrong thing with who they booked with. No. That's not my point. My point is, and I do this with things in my life, I try to learn from what happened. So always have good travel insurance. Always have good travel insurance, because you never know what's going to happen, including being shipwrecked. I was looking to see who was last shipwrecked in the Galapagos. The only one that really shows up in major news is when Celebrity's Expedition, that's one of the ships that they sold. Actually, the Expedition and the Explorer just barely completed their last voyages under the name of Celebrity in January, and now they're moving over to be National Geographic ships. So just a point of reference. But the Expedition actually crashed into the rocks back in November of 2019. So all the guests on that ship were picked up by the Celebrity Flora and continued on their voyage. So just to give you an idea about that, if you happen to be on either of those voyages on the Flora or on the Expedition, let us know what that looked like. But the Royal Galapagos cruise line wasn't doing anything for the people that were impacted by this happening. So I hope down the road they do something, but they were thinking they were just on their way home and that was the way things were going to be. So make sure that you've got really good travel insurance. And I know it's really hard because I was looking at the Royal Galapagos website and it looks like a great company to book with. And so just make sure that you know what you're booking and that you have that good travel insurance so that if something unexpected happens, you'll know what to expect. There are a lot of different cruise lines that go to the Galapagos, both some that, of course, just sail by, but there are a lot of different expedition lanes that sail the Galapagos, and there's a lot to think about when you're booking that. So if, and if you're interested, let me know in the comments. I can talk about that more another day, some of the different expedition lines, some differences between them, things to think about, but just wanted to kind of bring you up to date and let you know what is going on all around the world in cruising. If you've got questions about anything, I'd love you to share them in the comments. I look forward to reading your comments. Let us know if you're going on the Coral, how things are going on the ship that you're on. I really appreciate those updates, and I'll be talking to you all again really soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.